Welcome back. In this video, I look at the difficulty of assessing a wicked problem's objective severity. I'll introduce a model of objective severity assessment, give you a metaphor to illustrate what I mean, dig into the concept in a little more detail, outline the research that involves my thinking in this space, and of course, give you an example. In my model of wicked problem objective assessment, I look at three systems impacted by wicked problems. Wicked problems impact economic systems which interact with society and vice versa. Society is, of course, integrated with the ecosystems in which we live, and ecosystems interact with economic production systems. A significant issue with classical economic theory is that it simplifies a lot of the other stuff out that's affecting us, when what we have is rather more complex. Economists tend to overproduce simplified explanations of complex events, when measuring the impact of wicked problems is naturally complex. They're complex events. For example, the impacts of the climate crisis are wickedly complex, affecting the ecosystem, economy, and society in very many ways. So, think of measuring the objective severity of a wicked problem as like trying to measure a whale. You see what I mean? A wicked problem's objective severity is the measurable impact of its occurrence, but this is complicated. Wicked problems indeed have economic, social, and ecosystemic impacts that are measurable. But the nature of wicked problems is that there are many impacts and hence many measures. For example, COVID led to many deaths, which aside from subjective emotional impact, meant that many families were impacted in terms of lost income and businesses in terms of lost productivity. The issue with the objective impact of wicked problems is that there are multiple obvious impacts, but also multiple hidden impacts. The question is, how do we come up with the true cost? Where are the studies to back this up? Cutler and Summers wrote on the subject of the COVID-19 pandemic and the 16 trillion virus. And in the early 1990s, there was a vigorous debate in the UK around objective and subjective risk assessment. But here's the thing, risk is always subjective because someone, somewhere, with their individual model of the world, is going to take a position and an opinion on risk. And that will always be different to the opinion of the next person along. Going back to Cutler and Summers, the estimated cumulative financial costs of the COVID-19 pandemic related to the lost output and health reduction. It combined the costs of lost GDP, premature death, long-term health impairments, and mental health impairment. The total cost is estimated at more than $16 trillion, or approximately 90% of the annual gross domestic product of the USA. For a family of four, the estimated loss would be nearly $200,000. Approximately half of this amount is the lost income from the COVID-19 induced recession. The remainder is the economic effects of shorter and less healthy life. Given the complexity of COVID-19, I suspect that this is an underestimate, as will anyone indeed who has sadly lost a loved one. If you'd like to learn a little more, please follow any of the links below. My particular interest is in helping you by seeing you complete the Wicked Scorecard, which gives an assessment of your work-life environment and its potential exposure to wicked problems.